If you're a pop culture junkie who loves TV, film, music, comedy, and other really important stuff, then you've come to the right place. Get ready and settle in for Classic Conversations, the best pop culture interviews in the world. That's right, we circled the globe so you don't have to. If you're ready to be the king of the water cooler, then you're ready for Classic Conversations with your host, Jeff Dwoskin.
All right, Vicky, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. You get the show going each and every week, and this week was no exception. Welcome, everybody, to episode 345 of Classic Conversations. As always, I am your host, Jeff Dwoskin. Great to have you back for what's sure to be a wonderful episode with my guest, Marla Pennington. You loved her in So Small Wonder and so much more, and that is all coming up in just a few seconds. And in these few seconds, run in slow motion to episode 344 with Nicole Eggert. Such a great conversation. Do not miss our deep dive into Baywatch and so much more. But right now, it's all about Marla Pennington. We loved her on Soap, Small Wonder, Happy Days, and so much more. Great conversation, and that's coming up right now. All right, everyone. I'm excited to introduce my next guest. Loved her in Soap, Small Wonder, Happy Days, and so much more. Welcome to the show, Marla Pennington. Hey.
Hey, Jeff. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Fine and dandy. Yeah.
I appreciate you hanging out with me and chatting showbiz stuff. So we met, Marcia, Posner Williams introduced us. You were just at the big Soap reunion.
I love Marcia. She's got the greatest story. She's the greatest person. Her husband, Wayne, is super nice and down to earth. And I just had a blast sitting next to her for 2 days.
Oh, you got that really sit next to her. So that was.
Yeah. I mean, I really lucked out. It was Jay Johnson, who I know very well from lots of things, not just so, we're friends too. But then Marcia, I had the luck to have Marcia right next to me too. And so that was a blast. She's a gem. She
was hilarious to talk to. She had lots of great stories.
I wonder if you got to hear all of them.
You can share some that you may think she forgot to tell me. Well,
no. They stay here.
They're staying close to the vest. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Marla, you've been in like almost every one of my favorite shows ever growing up.
Aren't you sweet?
Couple cult classics, Small Wonder and Soap.
Yeah.
And the Hulk and I was gonna say General Hospital, but I never watched General Hospital.
I didn't either. And it was 74, 75 was a long time ago. So the people that remember it, they're diehard.
Right. How did you were born in California. You're a California native. When did you decide that acting and entertainment was going to be your thing?
I had no idea. My grandma and grandpa started a mattress business in their garage. They built box springs. Then it grew and grew. And then all of a sudden my dad got involved. And I was supposed to take over my grandma's part. And my brother Randy was supposed to take over my dad's part. Supposed to take over. And that we were going to be the next generation. And then I was taking shorthand and typing and all those really girly girl classes, in high school. I don't know if you probably haven't been experienced it, but if you're around too many girls, it just gets crazy. They're all talking and it's just too much, female energy. And so I went to my guidance counselor and I said, get me out of this, really anything. I'll do metal shop. I'll do auto. I don't care. And he said, really, the only thing I can get you into midterm is a drama class. And I went, okay, fine. And so I walked into that drama class at La Mirada High and it changed my life. It just changed my life. And what's really cool is that as I got more and more into it and more plays, and it was a very good drama department at the time, like 5 productions and a musical and a traveling children's show. And my grandma couldn't have been happier for me. And then as I started getting commercial, I went into it professionally. And as I started I mean, she took pictures of me in General Hospital because it was before they had VCRs or anything like that. She would take Polaroids of it. She had scrapbooks for me. And then I just said, Grandma, I'm not going to be doing that. And she couldn't have been happier. My biggest champion.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The rest of the family was just disappointed that you didn't become the mattress queen of Burbank.
I don't think so. My brother has it now. He just retired and both of his kids are in it. He said, Marla, you had a great life. And I have. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. It wasn't for me. I couldn't be. Although now with all the computers, and it's so different than when my grandma, my dad, and my brother used to run it, because I don't have to take shorthand. I don't need to type everything and do doubles and carbon and all that stuff. I mean, it was just, no, I was more of a creative type. So I couldn't wait to get out of La Mirada and do what I felt I needed to do.
Do you remember any specific plays that you were in?
Oh, gosh, I remember all of them. Chalk Garden, and I was in Fiddler on the Roof. I played Yentl, which is kind of crazy. And Children's Hour, Taste of Honey was one of my favorites. And Out of the Frying Pan. And I just loved it. And we were in repertory, and we would do 5 plays in 10 weeks during the summer. And it just gets in your blood.
I was just talking to Dean Butler, Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
One of his early plays was Fiddler on the Roof. He was Tevye.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, because that's my Hebrew name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, I had to bring it up since it was, we share that.
I still say oy vey all the time.
It's the best expression ever.
Yeah, I know. And I played against type, and I was Yentl, and they put all this fat suit on me, and I had to, and it was so much fun.
Oy vey, and there's a few other good Yiddish words, if you know them, there you can.
Oh, yeah. Matchmaker, even though I couldn't really get up to that key to do the part of the young girl, Yentl was super fun.
Oh, man. All right. So I read a quote, plays and then commercials, and you said you were basically counter girls in commercials.
Yes, I started early. I got my first lead in a movie when I was still in high school. They came to cast extras, and then they asked if I would be interested in the lead. And so I read for that, and I got it. And I was trying to go to college. And then I got a commercial agent and a theatrical agent, which you had to do back then. I did so many commercials. And I started out as counter girls for Foster Freeze, all of those kind of things. And then I slowly worked up. I remember cutting all my hair off, which is because I wanted to look older. Oh, really? And that's actually when I got soap, is that I was trying to make the transition into being wifey kind of material, because all I got was the young girl, kind of ingenue-y. Yeah, it was funny. I did so many commercials, hundreds and hundreds of them. And when I took a series or something like that, I actually lost my income. It went down. But I mean, I wasn't in it for commercials. Commercials is just a skill. You have to do so much with a time clock, and there's all these people and you're washing floors whatever. Everything's different, and all locations are different. But it's fun. Great money.
Yeah, except your grandma probably went bankrupt with taking Polaroids of you in every one of those commercials.
I know. She's so sweet.
Back then, that would have cost a fortune.
I tell you, she had, because she loved gadgets. She had a Beta when they first came out, and then she had the VCR in the other room, just in case. And so she'd have the bigger Beta tapes and the other VCRs, and she was amazing.
That's a mattress money then, right? Because those weren't cheap back then.
Well, I'll tell you, I would be so well off if I was still in the mattress. That's doing gangbusters. Diamond Mattress, the best. Yeah, they're making bank there.
So as you transitioned to some of your earlier TV roles, Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
That's a show I loved and watched.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that?
Oh, good. Yeah, I actually read for one of the Angels with Aaron Spelling. And I'm just like, and Jacqueline Smith was in the room waiting. And I'm looking at her. I'm going, she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. What am I doing here? But I guess I had a good audition. They had me back a couple times. And of course I didn't get it. Farrah, my God, icon. And, but they had me back. So I did a guest star in the first season. which was very nice of him.
Very fun. I imagine John Forsythe was never around as Charlie.
No, he was just a voiceover. Voiceover work is really good because you don't really have to be there.
So that was the classic crew. That was the OG Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, it was definitely. It was the first season. Everything was new and fresh and shiny.
Very cool. And then, let's see, before Soap, leading up to Soap, you had How the West Was Won.
Which was another one of my heartbreakers because I went in and I read for that. And Eva Marie Saint was supposed to play my mother. And I loved her. And she, for some reason, she really glommed on to me. And I auditioned and auditioned and auditioned. And then I was told I had it by the producer. Eva Marie and I were like writing each other. And it was like, this is like a dream come true. Then the studio stepped in and they had contract players back then. And they're paying them anyway. And so the studio said, well, why aren't we using one of our contract players to be her daughter? There's lots of blondes there. And so then there was a big fight over Bruce Boxleitner, who was the son in it. And if they wanted Bruce Boxleitner, then they had to do so I was traded off for Kitty Holcomb to take my job. And it was meant to be because Kitty Holcomb and Boxleitner ended up getting married and having a couple kids. So, I mean, you just never knew back then what was heartbreaking to you was just meant to be. And just, you can't make something happen that's not meant.
Right. I guess there was a little true love in the universe kind of playing and around. Yeah. All right. Well, at least some good came out of it. Sorry, I'm bringing up every show that you auditioned for and then didn't get the main role.
Yeah. Well, it's what it was back then. There were lots of jobs, even though it does not as many as I guess there are now, but they were all network jobs and everyone was so friendly and it was nice. And I went on 5 auditions a day and changed in my car. It's just what you did. Put a blanket around and changed out and then, checked your makeup and then you went in and then you had to forget about that, be off to someplace else. And it wasn't boring. I wasn't making mattresses.
When you were going all these auditions, were there specific, I jokingly say nemesises, but like other actresses that were always showing up for the same roles that you were?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you would see them over and over again. And then you go around the other one over there. Yeah. You should check with your agent. They're, Yeah. And then that's also why I cut my hair is at the time, models and actresses weren't like really together. So if you went to a commercial and there was dialogue and it was a hair commercial, a Clairol or something like that, and then you'd have a model come in and you go, well, they can't do dialogue. So, I got this one. And then you'd be in for the third audition. And that's where the hairdresser would come in and look at your hair and then just go, and then pick the beautiful model. And then they'd have someone else do the voiceover. And by the third one of those that I lost, that's when I went, I'm just cutting off my hair. I don't have to be sent to those commercials anymore.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like it's just an emotional roller coaster.
Well, it's a business. I mean, that's basically what you can't take any of it personal. And you just have to want it more than anything. And you did classes at night, plays, and you were just always doing something. Everyone that I found was very generous with each other.
Were you also doing commercials during this time as well? Does that pay the bills?
Yeah. You do commercials and then you would get a series job and then you go, you have to call your commercial agent and going, I'm doing soap. And it's like, okay, I'm off it now. Now what? And then it was fun. You never knew what each day was going to bring you.
Do you still get checks in the mail from some of these? Or they're all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I still get the Charlie's Angels checks and the Incredible Hulk. And yeah, it's big money.
It's gotta be fun when they show up, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of the Hulk, I'll confidently bring up the Hulk because I'm confident you probably didn't get those 2 lead roles. You weren't up for those 2 lead roles.
No, I was not up for either one of those. No.
It was originally going to be Sally Banner, and then they decided to go.
Right, exactly. And then they met Bill Bixby, and I was out.
Well, it was never meant to be.
No.
The Incredible Hulk is one of those shows that, another one of those that was like a big thing that I would watch growing up. And what kind of experience was it working on the Hulk with Bill Bixby? And did you get to hang out with Lou Ferrigno in and out of the Hulk costume?
No, Lou kept himself. First of all, he's green and he's not wearing much. And so he would be off to the side if he was going to be coming on. And since, okay, I hope it's not a spoiler for you, but Bill Bixby was Lou Ferrigno. He turned
What?
Dr. Banner.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, this
I'm
is
sorry.
blowing my mind here. It just took me right out of it.
It's crazy.
Next thing you're going to tell me is Santa's not real. It's like,
no, that's real.
okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. So The Incredible Hulk, whatever the drama of the week was for that show.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then Soap before that? Was this sort of in between? Because Soap was
after that, because Bill was interested in, that was one of the jobs that I got. It's always cool when you got a job when you didn't have to interview for it, because that's just like, oh yeah, they think I can do it. And then you go and you do it, and it's great. The one that they hired me because I knew one of the producers I played a nurse and Dr. Jolly on Different Strokes. And so I had this puppet that I talked to. And so they just hired me for it. And then we were doing the reading and they said, oh, here's your puppet, practice. And I'm like going, okay, well, can I take this home like for a day and kind of play around with it? And I did. And it turned out really fun.
That's awesome.
It was a good gag and I got really good laughs.
Yeah, another classic. So you were on all the big shows.
You kind of make the rounds. It's like in General Hospital, they found out I could cry on cue. So then they would have me for the first 6 months cry and all these big close-ups. And then it's like, oh, now we want you to smile all the time. And so that would be it's like, oh, one or the other. Kind of nice to broaden up sitcoms in a live audience, which is what I really liked because it's like theater.
All right, so Soap. So you come in, you're in season 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of the show beforehand?
Oh, I was a huge fan. It was my favorite show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was so thrilled to be on it. And I was a fan of everybody. And what was great is when I got on it, everyone was actors. And so they weren't just like TV actors where it was like someone's doing their scene. And all the sets were set up on the same stage. So you could easily go through and just, swing everything about. But everyone would be back looking at the monitors. And then just, when you come off stage, great job. It was just so cool. It was like theater. And then we would all have dinner together and then they would give the notes. And Billy always used to go, well, this is horrible. I'm eating and you're making me choke and then write down new lines. And it was like, this is not relaxing. And then we'd have to go out and do another show.
These were in front of audiences?
Yeah, both of them were in front of audiences. Yeah.
All right. So you filmed it, notes, filmed it again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Then they could cut both of them, pick and choose what they wanted. And I do remember seeing Richard Mulligan, and he went up to one of the camera operators and he said, follow me. Okay. And I saw him practicing with ketchup bottles and mustard bottles. And he said, after, just don't take the camera off me. And so this was in the after dinner thing. And it made it in the show, is that all of a sudden he got all lit, and then he squeezed both of them and the ketchup and the mustard went flying up in the air and all over Ted Wass and him. And it was hysterical. And we were all cracking up backstage. He was brilliant.
Richard Mulligan is so funny. It's just, you watch him, he's just like, it's like an effortlessly funny.
Yeah, but he took it really seriously. I mean, he really took it seriously. And he wasn't like one of those actors that's like funny all the time. I mean, we had some really serious conversations because we had some friends in common and one was not doing well. I mean, he was serious about his comedy. He really was.
No, I understand that. I think a lot of comedians are very kind of focused, and when they turn it on, they turn it on.
Right. And then there's other ones, like a personal friend of mine was Tim Conway, who I met through my husband. He's funny. Tim was funny all the time. He was just always doing something. That was just Tim. He just loved to make people laugh. It was incredible.
I can only imagine just hanging out.
And also Don Rickles was funny all the time. And Bob Newhart, they would come over for dinner. And Richard Crenna and Mike Connors, who I loved. And all their wives and stuff. And I would have a big Sunday dinner here and cook for everybody. And that whole group. And Dick Van Dyke was one of them, who we all lived in the same kind of city or close to it or whatever. They laughed all the time. All they wanted to do is to make each other laugh and tell old stories. The funniest of them all was Tim Conway, where he just was, I swear, always funny. He thought funny. His mind was funny.
I'm just trying to imagine like the dinner at your house being surrounded by all those people you just mentioned. It sounds amazing.
It was incredible. I mean, if the walls could talk, sometimes I thought that the roof would come off just from laughter. Just the best. And Dick Martin, which is who I met, from Dick and Dolly, everyone, all of their friends. And I like to cook.
Any like stories that you can share? Like any particular?
I have so many. I have so many. Stephen Edie. When my kids were small, they would all come over and I would have a swear jar. And so the kids, after a while, because if someone swore, they had to put $1 in the swear jar. And after a while, Dick Martin would just throw a 20 and then say, Danny, give me the change at the end of the night. And Danny he'd be like this and he'd be falling asleep. And then he'd go, oh, wait, Dick, you got change. And he would run and give him change at the end of the evening to stay up. And Steve Lawrence just threw a credit card at him once.
Oh, my God.
It was the best of times. Lucy, that's my dog.
Aww.
She's keeping me safe.
That's what dogs do.
That's what they do.
Our dog doesn't let anybody walk by the house. But
how dare they?
How dare they?
How dare they? And the Amazon and the UPS and FedEx. Horrible.
I'll tell you just randomly for a second
okay.
I once, such a cute dog. I once went on Nextdoor. I don't know if you guys have like the Nextdoor app.
Yeah, we have Nextdoor. They're all kind of crazy, aren't they?
Crazy.
The stories.
As a joke,
I know.
As a joke, I wrote, if you could please not walk your dog in front of my house, I'd appreciate it. It barks and it causes quite a conundrum. If you could just maybe not walk in front of my house. Because I was writing it as a joke, but a lot of those things on there aren't jokes, but that's how they're written.
No, people take it so seriously.
When I tell you, my wife got mad at me for doing it because it consumed me for the next 6 hours, I think, while you had the people that understood I was joking.
And they did the laughy faces and all that stuff, and the other people were irate.
The other people, look, I've spent a lot of time on Twitter in my heyday. And I was political at one point, so I was used to dealing with horrible people. Next door, wow, a whole different level.
It's crazy. Mention a coyote. A coyote did something. The coyotes were here first. What are you talking? They go nuts. But your dog was asking for it.
Yeah, my wife always loved pointing out was like, what's this? And they post a picture of their deck. And it's like a bird went on your deck. What do you mean? What is this? Like they've never seen these things before. It's like,
right. What?
So yeah, I still sometimes call it up and will read it at parties, like the responses that people gave me, just telling me off, like beyond. But this is what I did during that whole period of time was I never got mad. If they said something, I acted like they said it rationally. And so I responded in that world rationally. Like, well, maybe you should teach your dog, to shut up. And I'd be like, look, I tried to teach it.
We had lessons every Wednesday and Thursday.
It was just like, oh, man, it's just like, all right, good that she's keeping you safe. I guess that was my point. And then, okay. All right, so you're on soap. Any trepidation? I know you love the show, but as an actress, knowing this was the most controversial thing of its day, we still talk about how controversial, and now you watch it and you're like, but like, at the time, was it like, if stepping into that, was there any, or like, no. I got to be a part of this?
Funny's funny. Funny's funny. Yeah, I mean, no, I know it's television. You still make your own choices. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. Everyone's an adult. I mean, hopefully you're not having your 2-year-old watch that instead of Sesame Street. I mean, that wouldn't be good, but that's kind of on you, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, no, it's adult TV. It's on at a certain time at night. I think there was even a disclaimer at some point. I mean, it was just also tongue in cheek. Funny's funny.
Oh, yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. People just didn't get it. But I didn't easily get offended by stuff like that. I think lots of people have lots of different points of views, and I wouldn't want everyone to be the same. And it makes life interesting. I kind of wish it wasn't as interesting right now, but that's just me. Yeah, everyone has a point of view and everyone, it's fine. Yeah, I'm just curious if like your agents, the many agents you had, they're like, well, this is what, but it sounds like it was just an opportunity.
I had the same agent, my theatrical agent, I got when I was 17, and she was with me. She actually gave me my baby shower because she said, you've forgotten something. You're almost not having kids. I was in my mid-30s, and I went, oh, yeah, Diane, you're right. She goes, well, might want to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's flash forward.
Like there's life. Yeah.
Right. Eventually you left after Small Wonder. We'll get to that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, spoiler, that's what's coming. Sorry to interrupt. I have to take a quick break. I do want to thank everyone for their support of the sponsors. When you support the sponsors, you're supporting us here at Classic Conversations. And that's how we keep the lights on. And now back to my conversation with Marla Pennington. You were Leslie Walker, and your contribution to the show was being the teacher that sleeps with the student, has a relationship with the student, Jimmy Baio, cousin of Scott Baio.
Yes.
Billy Tate. I have to ask you, so I was watching some of the episodes. I almost lost it in one because it was so funny, where he breaks up with you and you face plant into a pasta dish. And like not once, like multiple times. It has one of the funniest lines in it too, when he pulls you up and the waiter says something like, what's going on? He's like, can someone get her a fork or something like that? It was just like,
she lost her contact.
It was amazing how you just face planted into that. It seemed like such a crazy, funny scene. It just caught me off guard. I was just like, I just wanted to ask you about passing out into food as much as you did, because then you did that twice.
So actually, Marcia and I talked about it at the convention. I said that Stu Silver, who wrote the scene, came up to me and he said, I just wrote you the best scene. It's like Lucille Ball. I can't wait for you to read it. I can't wait for you to read it. And then when we did the table read, I'm just like going, oh my God, how fun. And I mean, with anything that you do in acting, you just got to commit. You just commit and believe it in your own head. I mean, make it all work for the cameras, make it work for the director, make it work for you and all that. And it was so much fun. And just letting myself drop into it was the biggest laugh that Soap had for they finally had to kind of stop and let the audience get some control. And I didn't get up until the audience stopped laughing. So I was there a while. I was there in the fettuccine that had mayonnaise on top of it to make it even more gooky. Yeah, it was fun.
It was masterclass, Lucille Ball. It was.
It was. And then trying to do the dinner show and then getting in the shower and trying to wash off the marinara sauce with the olive oil and all the extra stuff. I'm going, I don't think it's coming out. They're having to dry my hair again and reset for the second show. It was hysterical. And I never realized how hard olive oil is to get off your skin until then. And it's also red. And you're just like, going, oh no. Do you guys have anything else that I can use? Yeah, it was fun.
Was something like that harder to do the second show? I don't mean harder. I mean, because I don't know. I could have been watching the second show that you did. Did go all in on that?
No, it's the fun thing is that you're going to get that laugh and you're wondering. And then you also, in the back of my mind, I knew there were certain people that I said, if you can come see a show, this would be a really fun one to see. Not telling them a thing. And I could hear their specific laugh in the audience. And that was fun. And then I just knew that it was going to, because it was a well-written scene and Jimmy and I just played it. I could have done it 100 times. I wish it was, a stage and you could do it over and over again for different reactions. And I mean, it was so much fun.
Was the fettuccine any good? Did you try and eat someone you were facing?
No, because like I said, they put mayonnaise all over it. And so then it's just like, so it wasn't, it was fettuccine with mayonnaise. It wasn't really Alfredo.
Was there any blowback to the teacher? I mean, at some point they made Billy's character 18.
Oh, right.
Right. Or he was 18 at least. And then before you committed to it. So there was a little bit of that. But anything, I asked Lynn Moody anything about the interracial relationship. She said they got one postcard.
I love Lynn, by the way, too. But did they get one?
They got one postcard, yeah. And a postcard. I thought that was funny.
A postcard, think about it.
Was there anything with you?
Not that I was aware of. I mean, but the moral majority was having their little, hissy fit at the time. And so it was like we were all kind of together in it. I don't remember mine being any worse. I went on some shows to promote it, Regis and LA show here and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, everyone wasn't bad, really.
Good.
I mean, instead, you know what it was? It was a lot of fantasies for young kids. So I got more of those kind of letters. Like, I have the biggest crush on you. I'm going, oh.
Oh, man. So, cast reflections. Because even if you weren't in scenes with everyone, like at least you would watch them. You guys all watched.
Well, yeah, we all watched each other. I think everyone would say that they knew that Billy Crystal was going to do a lot more, that he was in between when we'd be in like the cast lounge. You just talked to him and he was really funny. And he had a lot of drive and he had a lot of ideas. And you just knew. You know, who was so sweet was Catherine Hillman. Yeah, and I saw her when she was at one of these celebrity signings in Burbank too, right before she passed. And I went down and she said, oh, I loved you so much. And she said, yeah, they had a hard time writing for you for a while. But we had the sweetest conversation. So everyone was supportive. And I also loved Jay Sandrich, who was the director. He was just amazing. Everyone was. And Susan Harris was, just brilliant.
And she wrote like every episode.
Crazy.
One of your episodes, one of the ones you were on, Robert
Mandan?
Goulier.
Oh.
Benson. He came back. The one where, because Jessica Tate, Catherine's character, dies. Spoiler, isn't dead in the next episode.
Yeah.
I think enough time's gone by.
Yeah.
And then it was nice. That was a touching scene between them where they're talking about being close friends. And then Jay Johnson, you mentioned you're friends with him. And
yeah,
he's incredible. I mean, I was like watching that with Chuck and like basically like another character in the show. I mean, that's how it's.
Without a doubt. I mean, Jay was only supposed to be on for a few episodes and he became a regular, deservedly so. I mean, he's a really nice guy. He won a Tony on Broadway for his one-man show, The One and Only.
Yeah,
he's great. And his wife, Sandy, is terrific. They're a great couple.
He's considered one of the greatest ventriloquists ever.
Hands down.
And then Jimmy Baio.
Well, Jimmy was sweet. He was so young. He really was young. And they had written a scene before my fettuccine scene. And I mean, like after we had the divorce scene and they did a scene that didn't make it in. It just didn't work because he was too young. It just wasn't gelling. So then they had to take Leslie and his relationship in a different relationship, which meant that all the suicide attempts and the blowing up, they had to turn it around and make it something else. But they tried to make it something more long-term. And I just think back, he was just such a baby. He really was.
It was such a great show. I enjoyed
His timing was impeccable. And he was so, so dear and sweet and professional. Super professional. Everyone was.
He was super hilarious. The whole cast, I mean, the whole show, and rewatching a lot of it, it's just like so good.
It is so good. It holds up, which is I'm really proud of.
You shoot at Billy and he missed it. You hit Saunders, the butler. And then there's another scene, right? I'm remembering this, right? And then like he's with Jessica. He says, Saunders got shot in the temple. And then she says, I didn't know he was Jewish. And
right.
Just so funny.
It's great. It's great. It's great humor.
I guess, well, from one Bayo to another, I guess. And then you were in Happy Days, had a couple episodes of the Happy Days. And then.
Yeah, I was actually, I walked through fire on that one. Now, don't be worried about me. I'm fine. But I mean, I auditioned so many times because I was supposed to marry the Fonz. That's what Henry wanted. He wanted to transition into that. So I met Gary Marshall so many times and it was down to 3 of us. And then we went back twice. And it was just finally, Gary said, it was like, which one, Henry, did you not want to see walk out of the room? You wanted to see stay longer. And it was me, thankfully. And so I ended up doing 2 episodes and it was great fun. It was a cast that knew each other and I was coming in brand new but everyone was very gracious and Henry and I had lots of fun together. So then they couldn't make up the mind, ABC, about signing me for the spinoff. And so they kept on, and then in the meantime, I'm going, I can't be waiting for them to make up their mind. I know what happens. They're either going to use me or they're not. And so in the meantime, I got offered another series, a pilot, and then I got offered a movie for ABC, Class Reunion, National Lampoon's Class Reunion. And so I ended up doing that and spent 3 months in Pasadena in a chiropractic college that they had cleared out to do it, the movie. And, Linda Pearl ended up doing it. It only lasted a year. I mean, once again, it just wasn't meant to be. And so you can't get broken or over things that you want so much, but they weren't meant to be. You had another path.
Guys, so, but one of the episodes you were in, did you get to meet John Hart, the Lone Ranger?
I did get to meet him. He came in and Henry was very excited to see him. He was like one of those people that was like hanging out in the back. And so when he came in and did that, and everyone was like, wait, it's the real guy. It's the real guy. And I'm going, really? No, I didn't actually get to meet him, but I was in the same room.
Very cool, but it's still cool. Wait,
yeah,
so Linda Pearl, was there an actual Fonz spinoff of Happy Days that I have no recollection of?
They didn't do a spinoff, but the last season, Linda Pearl they didn't play Cynthia Brannigan, and I didn't really watch it. But they added a girlfriend for Fonzie. And you know what? It just didn't work. Nobody wanted a girlfriend for Fonzie.
That would have been like season 10 because you were like in season 9. So if like
it was. And so I was actually quite happy I didn't. But Henry was really sweet. He still did. He would invite me to certain, like he would do fundraisers and things like that. And they would do buses to McLaren Hall or whatever. And they'd all meet at Stacy in his house. It's just a nice man. It was a good experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Class Reunion was written by John Hughes.
Yes.
So that was cool.
It was cool. It was probably his only failure. I mean, I remember at the wrap party, he was saying, yeah, I want to bring the whole group back and we're going to do a European vacation and we're going to do, and all the things that he did later, he already had in his mind. But he was trying to make class. Yeah, he was young and I mean, who knew how brilliant? Yeah, that was. I made a lot of friends on that I kept my life. Yeah.
I should have worn my other Detroit hat, the one that Tom Selleck wears, but like. So I actually went as you were on an episode of Magnum PI. I actually went as Magnum PI once for Halloween because I had
you had a mustache.
Well, I actually ended up looking like a porn star. It's hard to put on a mustache. Like it's one thing to grow
That's
it.
True.
You probably still have the 70s vibe, but you put a fake one on. You're full on 70s porn actor, not in a like Tom Selleck kind of vibe thing.
Way. Yeah. And Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. It's like, you look back and you're like, wow, that is not what I was. Good effort. Good effort.
Wasn't what I was going for.
So the other show that you were on that I think it's fair to say cult status, Small Wonder.
Yeah.
4 seasons, 96 episodes. Yes. So it was a good run. This was one of the early syndicated shows.
Yes. It was the first run syndicated show. And my agent pitched it to me and they were down to the end and they had everyone else cast. And so I'm like going, well, Diane, what does first run syndication mean? No, it's the future. And they're really trying. 5 studios have gotten together and they're all going to own this show. And then they're going to send, and so, I mean, that's what they do all the time now, but it was like a test baby for it all. I went in when they were just, I think I read, but then all of a sudden that day, as I remember, I had a screen test and Angela Cartwright was there and Dawn from Gilligan's Island and Tony Tennille and me. And I'm like going, what?
You beat out Penny from Lost in Space and Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island?
Yeah.
Impressive move.
How is that possible? Yeah. And so, yeah, it was fun. I knew Dick Christie from seeing him on auditions for commercials and things like that. And I always thought he was funny. And I accepted the job and went on from there. Like, I guess I just collect friends as I go. I mean, I just left my dog Lucy with the woman who did my hair on the show for 4 years.
Oh, really?
Mary Guerrero. Yeah, her dog's name's Betty White. She did Betty White forever. That she bought her dog with a bonus that Betty gave her. And so Betty White and Lucy had a play date yesterday. And then one of the PAs on it is like my best male friend. And then Dick introduced me to my husband. And I mean, that was another thing that you just have to go, well, that was just kismet, that show. And it was just, and then it just made so many people so happy. I mean, it just was such a kitschy kind of sitcom of its time. But I mean, a lot of friends, lifetime friends.
Small Wonder was one of those things that would show up in my feed every now and then. And it was always like,
Oh, really?
Well, on TikTok, if you type in Small Wonder on TikTok, you could spend a long
No.
time. I'm saying you could spend a long time on it. And it's like, it goes,
Oh, really?
it goes between one of two things. One is people quoting the one guy that said it's one of the worst shows ever. And everyone else, I hate to say that, but like, but I mean, but I only say that because on the other side, it's like the fan base was huge. People loved the show, and most of the people are talking about it with reverence. Like, it was just one of those shows you grew up with. It was a weird show, meaning like,
it was weird. Yeah.
And people still talk about Vicky, the robot girl. And they're like, and it's usually something like, and so I was explaining to someone that it's about a family in the 80s, and the daughter is a robot that the dad built. And it's like, and everyone's like, is this real? Is this a real show? And it was like, and it probably has a little bit of that allure because it was in syndication. So it wasn't
right.
You had to watch it on a particular channel, and whenever they put it on, it wasn't one of the
right. A local show. And then once it went into syndication, it was on all the time. And so you just rewatch it. The kids would come home from school, and and apparently, from what I understand, in India, it's still on prime time. Illegally. I don't see any residuals from those.
I think that was another thing I read. Other countries devoured this show.
Oh, it was dubbed in so many. Howard Leeds, the producer, was so proud that it was in all these different languages, and he would, show us outtakes of who was doing our voices, and it was funny.
Speaking of someone who just strikes me as like always funny, and I'm basing this only on her characters, that was your next door neighbor on the show, Edie McClurg. Was she just hilarious? I mean, the one thing I always remember from her is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when she pulls the pencil out of her hair. You know what I'm talking? And like,
yeah.
I saw you guys were together on a reunion that you guys did. Like,
yeah, we used to go to the Hollywood Bowl together, and we just enjoyed each other. And then she'd come to some of my parties and stuff. I can't say she was funny all the time. She was super talented and came alive with the whole no. That was hers. And that's what got her the job on the show. And she just was really good at catchphrases. And I think she was in the Groundlings and very good with improv. She wasn't just like a crack up all the. Dick Christie was a crack up all the time. He was, I think, certifiably crazy. Yeah, he was in a nice, funny way, but he was pretty crazy.
In talking about like just a fan video that I found, somebody went and found, the opening where he sits down in front of the robotic sign. Someone found that. And there's like a whole 10-minute video of just this guy going, here's that, and this is where they shot this scene. I was like, so, I mean, there's fans, I mean? It's like, I think, when people kind of knock the show, it's because I have one guy on one list, and it was like, then, it's like, but, look, I watched a couple episodes, and it's exactly what I would think of in the 80s. It would have been. It was like, I gotta say, and then Tiffany as Vicky the Robot was hilarious, talking and robot talk the whole time. I can't think of a better gig than just talk robot.
Right. Except she was so talented that she wanted to do so many of the things. She wanted to sing and dance, and she wanted to wear different outfits, and she wanted, she was a little girl. And she had a crazy childhood, people around her and stuff. And I mean, she became so famous and so associated with the part that she just kind of gave up. And she's a nurse in Boulder, Colorado. Although someone just told me that they think she moved back to LA. But I just want her to be happy. She was always a very sweet, talented girl.
Awesome. Yeah, she was. It's just hilarious. Like, I wonder how many people made that outfit and just went as her, because that would be like an hilarious Halloween costume, right? I mean,
actually, I had someone on a Cameo ask me how to make it. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, we had wardrobe, and they made us, when all of us were in a dream sequence. And Ted, which, by the way, Dick loved wearing that dress. He was walking through all the offices and flashing everybody. And it's just like, oh my God, Dick, stop it. And me and Tiffany were all in the closet they made. And there are costumes. You can go on Pinterest and you can go on Amazon. Believe me, that's not what I got. And with the little pinafores, and it's very recognizable.
That's so funny. The creator of this show he wrote for the Brady Bunch, and he created like The Facts of Life and Silver Spoons.
Right, Different Strokes.
Yeah, it's Howard Leeds.
Howard Leeds. He was he was also a very nice man. And we would sometimes after a show, because we all wanted to go to the Columbia Bar and Grill afterwards and have a glass of wine. And I'd always have the swordfish. And we'd have Howard go with us because he always picked up the check.
Those are the best people to always invite.
I tell you, it's so great. And he had a crush on Mary Guerrero, my friend, who did hair. She was in charge of all the hair. And also did hair for Dancing with the Stars, all of those seasons. And she was head hair on that. She has so many Emmys. But he had kind of a crush on her. So we were going, Mary and I are going to go. And some of the other group. And she, oh, Mary's going? Yeah. Well, come on, Howard.
Awesome. And then Small Wonder, well, that was the last acting role you had. And then you went on to make Hot Ones videos with your daughter. Is that
it is my daughter and my son. Because I turned them on to the show. Do you watch it?
It was funny. I was just telling someone about it because I was watching the Conan O'Brien one. And
he was wild.
It was like he was drinking that stuff. Like I have a low tolerance, very low.
Oh, then, yeah. It's not easy. Well, I glommed onto this show early. So I saw it when he was basically having rappers on. And I go, and I watch it and I go, oh, I really like that guy. He was really nice. And then it was like, so then I watch it and then just the way it developed and then they got bigger and bigger stars on it. And then I turned everyone I knew onto it. And I'd have my whole family, if I went over to my brothers and I would make chicken wings. And I'd make them really crispy and have them all over the place. And everyone, we'd sit for hours watching episode after episode.
One of my favorite Saturday Night Live skits is Maya Rudolph as Beyonce.
Yes, it's Beyonce.
On Hot Ones.
Oh, funny. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a classic. And I really like Sean Evans. He's such a good interviewer. And just the way that he gets his guests through it and leads them. And it's such a good way to do a press junket and just take it off the rails. Because, I mean, I got to tell you, even with my kids and my husband was over there, they surprised me with this Mother's Day thing. It was not easy. And then they had a whole dinner for me afterwards for Mother's Day. And I couldn't really eat it because my stomach was just like, oh, Lord. And I like spicy food, but
Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, the Conan one was giving me like, I was like having a nervous wreck because he's like downing this stuff and it wasn't impacting him at all.
Oh, no. And he was in a lot of pain afterwards. Apparently got underneath his wedding ring and he hadn't thought about washing underneath that. And I forget. Oh, then he rubbed it on his nipples. Yeah, and apparently, I guess the aftermath was not that good for him. And
the after video would probably be better. I have to hunt that down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's... No, I love that show.
Awesome.
And the kids knew it, and that's why they did that. They're the best.
Kids are the best. You're the best. I appreciate you hanging out with me.
Oh, you're so sweet, Jeff. Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Good.
Sharing all your stories.
Thanks.
I think I'm going to go eat some... chicken wings right now. I'm starving.
Do them really crispy. $3.50 for like an hour 15. And you don't even really have to turn them. And it's really good.
I appreciate the tip.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Jeff. Nice chat.
Great chat. One for the record books.
Thank you.
All right. How amazing was Marla Pennington? So much fun to talk to. So many great stories from Soap and Small Wonder and happy. I had so much. Just flew by. Can't believe and we're at the end of the episode. Another episode has come and gone. You can see we're building up a whole Soap series of episodes. We got Marcia's, we got Lynn's, and now Marla's, and we got one more coming up. One more. But for right now, a huge thank you again to Marla Pennington. Thank you so much. It was great hanging out with you. And of course, a huge thank you to all of you for coming back week after week. It means the world to me. And I'll see you next time.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Classic Conversations. If you like what you heard, don't be shy and give us a follow on your favorite podcast app. Also, why not go ahead and tell all your friends about the show? You strike us as the kind of person that people listen to. Thanks in advance for spreading the word, and we'll catch you next time on Classic Conversations.